The book 34 Miracles of Jesus, written by Kalathil Mathew MSFS. Miracle 22. Jesus gives life to the son of a widow. Luke 7:11 to 17. Luke narrates this miracle in order to explain the mercy of God, nearness of God to those in need, and the God's prophet Jesus. A heartfelt scene is portrayed here. Jesus raises the son of a widow. Man cannot raise any other dead man back to life. It is a merciful act of God to give back life to man. Jews are not able to accept Jesus as their God. They considered Jesus as a prophet. Verse 11. Soon afterwards he went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd went with him. Jesus preached freedom and saved the son of a widow from Nain. Jesus had compassion for this widow. He gave relief and refuge to that woman of Nain. The widow has nobody. Now her only son passed away. In a patriarchal society, she was without any male agency. She experiences helplessness now. She has nobody to help to continue the life. She is sorrowful. Therefore, Jesus comes here with compassion to make her family complete and whole. Verse 12. As he approached the gate of the town, a man who had died was being carried out. He was his mother's only son, and she was a widow, and with her was a large crowd from the town. A large crowd accompanied her, which means many followed the burial ceremony because they were a good family in the village. Verse 13. When the Lord saw her, he had compassion for her and said to her, "Do not weep." Then he came forward and touched the bier, and the bearers stood still. And he said, "Young man, I say to you, rise." The dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him to his mother. Luke 7:13 to 15. Jesus felt compassion for her. He came and touched the bier. It is impure to touch the corpse. Jesus' compassion for some people in such dire need bypasses the rituals which dictate that one should not touch the corpse or dead body. And Jesus said, "Young man, I say to you, get up." The dead man sat up and started to speak, and Jesus gave him to his mother. The crowd were happy and wondered at the miracle. Widow was happy and considered a great luck in getting back her only son alive. The presence of a man in the family will give great place in the society. A family is lifeless without the presence of a man. Verse 16. Fear seized all of them, and they glorified God, saying, "A great prophet has risen among us, and God has looked favorably on his people." Luke 7:16. The crowd said, "A great prophet appeared among us. God has visited us. God has drawn near to the needy people in and through Jesus' kingdom mission." Luke speaks of three types of prophets. First one, he doesn't call Jesus a prophet, but Jesus acts like a prophet. Second, Jesus uses the title prophet for himself. Third, the title of prophet is used to describe Jesus' power, yet he is not accepted as prophet in many places. Through this miracle, Jesus teaches us a special concern of God for the poor and the love of poor. Through this miracle, Jesus teaches us the special concern of God for the poor, the love God has for the people, and the mercy of God for the needy. Jesus shares the sorrows of the people. Do we understand this message? Jesus gives back life to the Son. Only God can give life. So Jesus is God. Jesus is the author of life and death. Do we lovingly see widows as Jesus saw the widow? Some people see the widows very inhuman in this modern world. We must consider the widows compassionately and help them to live peacefully. We should show empathy and humanness to widows. We Christians should stand with them in their struggles of life. When some people lose sympathy and humanness, they blame and accuse the widows maliciously. Jesus tells us to be at the side of widows. The love of God is manifested in the world when we stand with the widows and the poor, help and bless them. We should give justice to them in the society and family. Then God will bless us and will not forget us in our difficulties. We must wipe away the tears of the widows and the poor as Jesus did. That is the real justice. That should be our Christian culture and duty. That is true love of neighbor. Anybody can speak and argue for justice for hours and hours. Can we really do justice to others and us? Be just instead of arguing for justice. Are we ready to share the blessings of God with others? Sharing gives new life to others. New culture of love is born there. Then we are able to share in the prophetic mission of Jesus. We must be able to make Jesus known to the ends of the earth through our Christian life. This is the real preaching of the gospel. All of us can do this. Let the rule of God be on our life. Let us encounter Jesus and consume his presence.